Women weren't allowed in the college after, I suppose, 8 o'clock at night. We had to be in by 10 o'clock unless you'd been signed for. So you had to climb in over the railings at the end
After
of the
10.
British building. And they were wonderful days because for the first time you'd left home. I don't suppose I contacted my parents more than 2 or 3 times a term when I rang up and said, all right if I bring 4 people out to tea.
Because they were, of course, pretty close. You could have gone...
Oh, 12 miles. Could have done. But somehow it was a different new world. I don't suppose they minded. Occasionally, when I went through the car park in Queens, I saw my father's car there, so I knew he'd used it as a car park. He was somewhere around. Didn't bother me. I don't think I ever went back to my school while I was there.
Such freedom.
Yeah. The first taste of it. And then we all applied after our time there. You had a grey book. You had to be signed up for, has diligently attended a course in obstetrics and gynecology under my supervision. And you had to get those books signed every 3 months by somebody to say, your grey book, to say you've done it. When the book was full, you could take the exam.
So you just had to organise it yourself when you'd go, or...
Well, you were told when you arrived where there'd be lectures. And if you were doing the science subject, you've got to keep up. There were very few people doing things like history. There was one who'd got ankylosing spondylitis, so he was. But no, you've got to do things or go to the army.
So he was studying history because he had Ankh-Spond?
No, but he'd got this, and he'd wanted to do history, and he was no use to the army.
Oh, sure, yeah. Of course, nobody studying
No.
something
We
different
had a
would have
few
been able
people,
to stay.
engineers in the Navy were allowed 6 months course, and they would come and do some subjects while they were there besides engineering. They were wonderful days.
It's a very limited group of people who must have been there.
course.
Such a sort of, I imagine you became very close because there were so few of you
Yes.
as well.
That was the problem. Perhaps 6 of you from your college doing medicine. You'd come across them all the time. And there wasn't time really to join things like the union. We had a medical society of our own, but you didn't do many of those things. But then, at the end of 2 years, we were told we had 2 years, and then suddenly the war ended, we were told we could have another year. So we had another year of idleness.
Surely not idleness.
Well, we didn't have to do too much.
And then you went to
Yes,
London.
you applied. And we used to discuss where we'd like to go. The hospitals used to advertise in the Cambridge Medical magazine, come to St George's, right on Hyde Park Corner. Come to London, 1,000 beds. Come to Guy's. Come. So we, 2 or 3 of us chose Guy's for no particular reason. I think perhaps I did because somebody living in Ickleton, his father had been dean in the past.
Of Guy's?
Yes. And so that you applied. And then of course you got there and there was absolutely no collegiate life at all. You lived in digs. I had digs out in Norbury for 3 months until my landlady said, my cat's not very well, would you have a look at him? I thought, I'm not a vet, so I moved. And then, after a bit somewhere else, I asked John Taylor if I could share his flat in Soho. And then I think we had a German student who moved in on us and wouldn't go. So I shared a flat in Earl's Court with Mike Stoner. Well, we only allowed ourselves 30 minutes to prepare your supper, eat it and wash up. So we got to move on. There were books to flog.
That's so, you only allowed yourself that time?
Oh yes.
Because you had so much work to do?
Yes.
Wow.
Got to find out sometime.
Did you have holidays?
I suppose so.
Weekends?
Yes, I imagine there were terms.
Did you have a lot of exams?
That might have been when I used to go to France. Because I was old enough, I was in Switzerland, and my father took the duty of the Spitz church. So for a month he was taking the services.
Yes, this is what I meant.
Yes, so I stayed at the hotel, and then one night they put somebody else in my room in the middle of the night. And I didn't have that. So I then went down into a bed and breakfast, and I can remember them trying to teach me Schweizerdeutsch, das ist die Schiffsstation. Well, I got sick of learning about the Schiffsstation. And then it was summer, and I realised that the fruit was going adrift at home, so I got a train home and bottles of fruit. Because you've grown up in this sort of domestic atmosphere. Your family are jolly lucky because they've always done things. It won't be easy for the London family. Or Diana, the Cleggs here, I came here as his partner. The daughter used to make jam during her holidays. As soon as she went back to school, her mother threw it all in the dustbin.
What? I think it's almost impossible to imagine not being able to eat things that you've grown and not having your own.
Yeah, I think so. There must be masses of walnut trees in that garden because I planted walnuts. I may have put them in a tin to save them, and I had dozens of walnut trees. Certainly when we were there last in Ickleton, I saw a chestnut I had planted as a conker.
Wow.
70 years ago. It's nice that they hadn't felled.
Who would have taught you to do all that bottling and to preserve fruit or to,
Well,
you know, did you, how did
what
you?
would happen? My mother would do it. But somebody else would have washed the jar. I don't remember my father ever doing any domestic chore whatsoever. I don't think he could have made a pot of tea. I can't think he could. I never saw it. He was very happy doing things in the garden. He and I used to saw logs with a cross-cut saw, but he said, you know, they can sit in the drawing room and burn these logs faster than we can cut them. So he did those jobs. He taught me some carpentry. But never did anything in the house. When it wanted decorating, my mother and I did it. And the corridor was 22 yards long.
And not Christine.
Christine worked in the lab.
She's busy, yeah.
Yes, you see. And anyway, I was more easily drawn away from my books. And it doesn't matter how you do it with your books, really. As long as you... I was taking an exam once. I think it was DRCOG. And I went out and had lunch with a chap from George's. He said, what do you want to know all this stuff? We only need to know enough. I'd never been taught that you only need to know enough. I always liked the small print. So that's why, when I was in practice, I liked making the diagnosis of something from the small print. And once you've seen one case of it, you saw 3 or 4 more.
The more you know, the more you're able to recognise things.
And I think in a way, our generation of GPs moved us from being a cottage industry to, well, old Dr. Adams used to mix the medicines himself.
Wow.
To the, by the time I left, it was computerized. All practices in Shropshire except two, of which ours was one. Well, we depend on knowing our patients' voices. They were our friends.